Hello and welcome back to another episode of Toy Therapy. I'm your host, the Toy Therapist, aka Matthew Grant, and today I'm going to do something a bit more different with my channel. So normally you see me doing toy reviews, and as some of you know, I do a podcast called Movie Goons. So now I've made up a decision what I'm going to do with the channel. I am going to amalgamate it into my my YouTube channel. Okay, so this is going to be Toy Therapy Presents Movie Goons. So I'm bringing the two channels together, the podcast and the YouTube. Just bring into one. For the moment, I was paying money for £8 a month for SoundCloud Pro, and really I wasn't really using it. So I decided now to cut my losses for the moment until I got a regular podcast partner, and then I can sit down, properly edit it, and so on and so on and so on. So with that said and done, I'm going to be talking about a certain film that came out this weekend. Okay, I think everybody's seen it by now, but don't worry, I'm not going to talk about spoilers. I'm not, so don't need to worry about that. So this is going to be spoiler free. Okay, so this is going to be about what I felt during the film, and that is it. So if you like what I'm doing with this new change, please leave me a comment down below and like, share, subscribe with your friends. That'd be really, really, really great. I'm not going to try to aspire to movie critic. Also, not movie critic, nostalgia critic, and the channel Awesome, and to Chris Stuckman. Those are people I like to watch their videos and so on. I like their reviews. I really do love watching their reviews. So I'm not going to try and do the same thing what they do. This is something that I'm going to do. It's all about feeling with the film, what I actually felt while watching it. So because a lot of things are happening, okay, and I haven't got a regular podcast partner, so I'm going to do like a video movie vlog, so Movie Goons vlog, so to speak. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to talk about Infinity War Part 1. Okay, I went to see it twice the last couple of days. I went to see it Saturday with my girlfriend in Bath, and the first sitting, I didn't really enjoy it. I had people next to me talking, and it was just very distracting. I wasn't able to get engrossed in the movie. I was a kid, and I didn't want to say to them, please be quiet. You know, I just let them get on with it. I should have really, because it did ruin my my cinematic experience. But my girlfriend loved it. She really enjoyed it. She was really bought into it. So, and I know she liked it. And we had a bit of discussion. And I was nitpicking at things. And there's just bits and pieces I did manage to watch. And like I said, I didn't really, not grasp it, but I didn't get a chance to absorb the film. But I did feel mentally drained and exhausted and depressed at the end of the movie. I did. But that's something that I will touch on in my main review now. So I went to see it again on Monday. I went to see it in 2D because the first showing. I went to see it in 3D. And the 3D was amazing. Popped out of you, it just looked like you were there, which was great. I'm loving 3D movies. I love 3D movies. I got a 3D TV. I like going to the 4DX. I like doing all that. I like to be a part of the cinema experience. It's really right up there. That's what I like. So I went to see a normal 2D, and this time I was able to sit back, relax. It was a lot quieter cinema, so I can just literally, I finished work, got there before everybody else, and just enjoyed the movie for what it was. So I sat there, just got myself bought into the story, bought myself into the whole thing, what was happening. The story is still a bit weak for my liking, but this film is a staging ground ready for part 2, because I think part 2 is where you start seeing a lot more story, a lot more driven story, because there'll be some new characters coming in and so on like that as well, and some characters that were missing in this film hopefully might see them in this film and so on as well. But with that said and done, okay, the film did what it needed to do. There's a lot of ground to cover when it comes to the characters they had to cover and get in the movie. So they had a really good idea by bunching people together, and I liked what they did. The pair-ups were really good. It worked really well. So everyone bounced off one another quite well. So you had one serious group, it had a little bit of comedic thing to it, and you had a group that was quite comedic. So you had, like, say, Peter Parker, Tony Stark, going with Doctor Strange, and they meet up with the Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor and so on as well, which was really good. They didn't meet them. They didn't come across Thor. Only the Guardians did. But that dynamic with the whole things going against one another, and it played off one another very well. So I was very sort of happy with the pair-ups, really, and it was logical pair-ups as well. So it was quite a logical choice that they chose. When it comes to the special effects, it was an absolute spectacle. They spared no expense. Thanos looked amazing. His children of Thanos looked really good as well. There was a couple of surprises as well. I did like there was a Skrull. Okay, that was quite cool. I believe he was a Skrull, and it looked like another Kree, which was a woman Kree. It looked like a Kree to me, but I don't think it was. But she looked Kree-ish. And he had another entity which I couldn't quite place. And they had another entity as well. So he had about. They're almost like his heralds, like from Galactus, his own heralds, to go and find these stones for him. So I quite like they had that type of element to it, and they worked really well together as well. They didn't have to say much. One guy had a lot more of a speaking part, and he was really sinister as well, and he was really cool to sort of see the interaction as well. So there was some really good elements in it. So they give him a bit of a derivative narrative, and it kind of worked for the children of Thanos. Thanos himself, okay, I was so bought into what he was trying to do. Yes, he was a villain. I'm not trying to glorify villains, I'm not, but as a villain, you felt that what he was trying to do was the right thing to do for him, bringing balance to the whole universe and the whole galaxy, and what he was doing, collecting these stones, was going to allow him to do that. You felt bought into that. Okay, really bought into that, and I thought he was very similar, if not better, than Bane. And I liked Bane in the Dark Knight trilogy. I liked Bane. He was a really good villain. Thanos was a very good villain as well. He felt sucked in as well what he's trying to do. He wasn't the crazy person. He wasn't nuts in any way. He was, what he felt he was trying to do was right. And I liked that element. So I'm glad that they done something a bit different with him. So when it comes to the action, okay, the fight scenes were just phenomenal, especially Hulk versus Thanos. That was superb. I liked that a lot. A bit short than I would have liked, and I like to see the Hulk in it a bit more, okay, than we had, because in the trailer you see Hulk running with the I think the Wakanda fight scene, okay, towards the end of the movie, and that got replaced with the Hulkbuster. And I don't think that's a spoiler, so if you people jumping on me, I do apologize. I don't think it was a spoiler. But this is a good thing about the trailer. They changed some bits and pieces to give you a false indication of what the film was going to try and do and trying to deliver, which I thought was excellent, especially with the Infinity Gauntlet was missing a few bits and pieces of the stones when he went to try and punch Captain America, and Captain America grabbed it, and Thanos almost shocked in a way. They took some things out, so you had a false indication on what the film was going to be, which I felt to be brilliant, because like I said, it wasn't much of a story. But when it comes down to the balance, they had the balance really well. Each group of people played off one another well. Like I said, they're well placed. So each person had their own sort of limelight as well. No one was pushed to a side in any way, shape or form. They incorporated as many people as they can, and they got the balance nearly right. Not perfect, but it was nearly there. And I think what they did with the amount of characters on screen, it didn't go messy. There was a lot of things that to cover with the characters and so on. So I thought that was a really good element, and they worked out very well. The only thing which I didn't think, there's like two areas I didn't quite like. Okay, one of them was the comedy element. Some of the comedy element, when it was getting quite dark, very dark, I thought, you know what, let's break it with a joke. I didn't like that too much. I thought that wasn't needed. Maybe try and break the mood a little bit, but not with a joke. I just staring in the face of danger and we're going to laugh at it. I didn't quite like that too much. That was one thing I didn't like. The other thing I didn't like as well is the how they could find the Infinity Stones. They knew where they were, and it's taken this long to get there. I just found that to be... But hence, yes, okay, we wouldn't have the Infinity War. Okay, yes, I get it. This was added in just for that story narrative. Okay, get that. But they did remind me of the ring race from Lord of the Rings a bit. Like, finding these wherever they are. They didn't know where they are. They didn't know who had them. But somehow they just miraculously appeared next to them as well. So that was the thing I didn't really quite like. Those are the two areas I didn't quite like. And I think maybe a couple extra minutes here and there with the story, that would have made more sense. But anyway, DC do the director's cuts, Marvel's don't. So in a way, it's kept the runtime quite down because they had a lot to cover when it comes to the battles and so on. So, like I said, as a spectacle, it was phenomenal. I would like to see a bit more of Cap. I'm a massive Cap fan. I'd like to see a bit more Cap. But as a film, okay, when it comes to the whole sort of big payoff, it had a really great payoff. Depressing payoff, but it was a great payoff as a finale. Now we got to wait a whole year for the film to sort of continue, and it is going to be interesting to see how they're gonna do that, because they didn't follow the comic exactly. They really haven't. But I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do different. There was a few comic elements were kind of there, but not exactly. So, like I said, I don't want to name characters because I don't want to spoil it for you guys, and I want you guys to see it and so on. Like I said, this is my feeling. But as a feeling, when I watched it the second time, I preferred it on a second watch. Like I said, it was a lot to take in. I was distracted. I just didn't absorb it. But as a spectacle, as a film, I really enjoyed it. I'll give this film an 8 out of 10. Okay, and this is like this is not as a bad thing towards a film at all. I'm giving it, for me, that's a high score. Very rare I get films, I think, over 8 in my opinion, unless it's something that really sort of just brings me in, really brings me in. And the one film that really brought me in was The Martian, and I love that to pieces. But this, as a Marvel film, how would I rank this as Marvel films with the others? Story wise, it's not better than Winter Soldier. But action-wise, it's much better than all the Marvel films that we've seen so far. Some of the action graphing in the Winter Soldier, I love that with a passion, that film. But as a film, as a standalone film, I think it's one of the best spectacles that we had. It beats the first Avengers. It beats Age of Ultron. As an Avengers film, it's definitely one of the best that we've ever had. The magic was recreated again, which I didn't think they would be able to do. I had a few concerns about all the people who are going to be in the movie, and I was hoping, are we going to get the same magic from the first Avengers film? All that was put to rest completely while I was watching the film. It had the right level, the right balance, and it worked really well. So those are my 2 cents of the film. Okay, hopefully you'll see more of this, and like I said, please give me a comment below if you liked my review. Okay, if you've got any concerns or anything you're not sure about what I've talked about, okay, please drop me a comment and I'll answer you back. We'll have a chat as well. It'd be really good to talk to you guys, anyone who wants to talk to me about it. But anyway, this is Movie Goons and Toy Therapy signing out. Until next time, I will see you guys soon. Take care.